I'm Brigantia Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Friday and welcome to the Pagan Housewife. This week we are talking about our pets. Where would we be without our animal companions? They may or may not be our magical familiars, but few households feel complete without them, and very few households are actually feeling like true homes without them. Now, obviously, we love them to bits, and we want to do our best so that our pets can have happy lives. So attending to their physical needs is an important aspect of our own household duties. Nutritious food, fresh water, clean living conditions is of vital importance. But they also need plenty of exercise. They need play. They need mental stimulation, as well as lots of love. But in a magical household, there are further steps we can take to ensure our animals' well-being. Now, as we have learned in other studies, animal totems are the embodiment and the composite of the species they represent, and therefore they are connected to every animal of that species, including our own pets. Occasionally making offerings and calling upon these totems to watch out for our pets introduces a layer of spiritual protection and acknowledge the value we place on the spirit of our animals. We probably don't need to have a full-scale shrine or altar for this purpose, unless, of course, you have the space and you want to do that, in which case, knock yourself out. Please send me pictures. I would love to see what you do. But it's usually sufficient if we have a picture or a figurine of the animal totem that can be useful. It serves as a point of connection between the household, our animals, and the totem itself. Prayers and poetry have been written in honor of these spirits. A simple internet search will provide plenty of examples that we could use for more ritualized purposes, and we could even write our own. Now, we know that our pets do more than entertain. They have spiritual aspects that bring benefits to the home. So let's look at 3 examples of commonly owned pets: dogs, cats, and birds. Now, when it comes to dogs as a point of interest, I currently live in the town that has the distinction of being the origin of the expression, dog is man's best friend. And many of our Main Street shops, they have, dog statues and figurines in their windows. And in the autumn, there's even a festival who's named after the dog who inspired the saying. It's called the Old Drum Days. Now, dogs have certain magical correspondences, the moon, especially the full moon, and the elements of earth and water, as well as that with fairies and lares, which are the Roman household spirits. Many deities are associated with dogs. We have a couple of examples, too many to go into, but I wanted to highlight a few. As far as the gods go, we have Anubis, of course. Arwan, Ares, Faunus, Gwydion, Hades. Hades, actually, his dog's name translates as Spot. So, rather uncreative name for a god of the dead to give to his pet dog, but there you go. But dogs are also associated with Hermes, Lu, Mabon, /Praderi, Mananan, Odin, and Thoth. And then on the goddesses' side, we have Artemis, Caradwen, Hecate, of course. We also have the goddess Hel, and then Hera, the Morrigan, and Rhiannon. Dog spiritual aspects are primarily defined by faithfulness and protection, but they are also linked with the agricultural cycle of the year, courage, death in the underworld, particularly as those who will lead you to it when the time comes, healing, unconditional love, and indeed prophecy. Now let's talk about cats. It has been observed that the ancient Egyptians worshipped cats as gods, and the cats have never forgotten this. Certainly I can testify to that attitude amongst my own cats. And certainly their regal bearing and their aura of authority and importance, and I'm the center of everything, really bears out this particular heritage of theirs. Cats are primarily magically associated with the moon in all of its stages, and certainly all the moods of the cats have their own stages and cycles for sure. And now, as far as deities go, they are associated with the god Ra, but it's usually goddesses to whom the cat is particularly special. Particularly Artemis, Bast, of course, the goddess Brigid, Caradwen, Demeter, Freya with her chariot drawn by cats, and the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet. Cats' spiritual qualities include mystery, magic, independence, but also that of crossroads, dream work, love, omens, and inner power. The inner power especially, I think, is a quality and trait that I think truly defines them. Cats have an ownership of their own agency. Let's see. Now this brings us to birds. Now each species of bird has its own symbolism, and quite a few of birds are kept as pets. It's too many to go into all of them. But for our purposes of today's, let's just focus on canaries. Primarily when I think of a bird kept as a pet, I go straight to my childhood with the Looney Tunes and Granny having Tweety Bird and this little and a canary getting chased by the cat. So I mean, that's why. Anyway, it's purely childhood nostalgia. Canaries correspond with the heart and the throat chakras. Now, I haven't found any specific references to deities associated with canaries, but in the case of yellow canaries, they're so bright and so vibrant. It doesn't seem completely out of order to perhaps associate them with solar deities, and of course, because of their beautiful singing voice, any god or goddess that is associated with beautiful singing and that sort, I think, might be a link we could make. Now, the spiritual qualities of canaries revolve around the power and beauty of song and voice. This also associates them with consecrations and blessings, happiness, harmony, healing, and spirituality. And we mustn't forget that music and song plays an important role in pagan spirituality. And these are just a few things for us to think about when we start thinking about our pets, our beloved animals, in a more spiritual context. What they're connected to, what they represent, the role and the energy that they really bring into our household, and making sure that we are fully nurturing that. So that's just a few thoughts I have. I would love to hear about yours, especially if this is something that you've given thought to in your own household. Let me know in the comment section below, or come see us at Blackbird's Brew on Discord. There's a link to join in the description box below, and I hope to hear from you soon. But that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.